Why are the estimates for renovating a high-end mansion so expensive? Can a mansion be renovated with the same materials for half the cost? Let's say Mr. and Mrs. Smith bought a mansion in poor condition and they want to renovate it. They call different construction companies requesting estimates to renovate their new home. This is where the expenses begin. Whether the work is done with these companies or not, the construction companies have their expenses and charge for doing the calculations to give the renovation budget. Finally, the Smiths choose one of the construction companies for the renovation. The first payment of 50% of the renovation budget is made. The construction company pays for the building permits and the work begins. The construction company calls its contractors: carpentry, electrical, plumbing, and painting company. Each of these companies has its own offices, infrastructure expenses, and related company vehicles. Each of these companies has its own staff: a secretary, a blueprint designer, at least one project manager, at least one supervisor, and workers. These companies charge around $150 an hour for each worker today. These expenses that I'm going to explain apply to all related companies to a greater or lesser extent. Let's take as an example the carpentry shop with all its personnel and infrastructure necessary for manufacturing. And let's explain why it is the sector that consumes the most money in a renovation. This sector is one of the most expensive due to the large infrastructure and personnel needed to design, cut, assemble, and paint the products. The cabinets, panels, interior doors, and moldings, etc., are immediately painted. The finished products must also be transported very carefully. Generally, they are heavy products, apart from the fact that they are already painted and should not be damaged because of all the expenses involved if a part needs to be repaired. It is worth remembering that it is a custom-designed carpentry. They are designs that you will not see twice in other properties. A lot of time is spent on production with exclusive designs until the production is delivered for installation. What if we could have all this in a small group of different professionals without infrastructure costs? These high costs of infrastructure, design, manufacturing, and transportation will not exist for us when manufacturing the kitchen, closets, and other products in the same mansion. Suddenly, these high expenses disappeared. This is what we're going to tell you here. My name is Randall. I will be as brief as possible with a plan that took many years to form. Please remember that you can always watch this video again on your YouTube channel and website. They will be here during the course of this video so that you can take a picture. I have been working in construction since 2000 in the United States, most of these years in carpentry, with forays as a worker in painting companies, plumbing, electricity, granite and ceramic tile installation, roof installation and repair, concrete bridge and road repair in Massachusetts. For the past 18 years, we have been working subcontracted with our company BMM and workers as finish carpenters. Some of the work with the support of my son Brian. We work for companies such as Leeds Custom Design of West Palm Beach, Florida, Merritt Woodwork of Mentor, Ohio, and Thomas Riley Artisans Guild of Naples, Florida. These companies are high-end woodworking shops. We would manufacture in the shop, and when we would go to install in the mansions, I was in charge of a group of carpenters. With our company, BMM, we also make unique pieces of furniture with mahogany wood logs and epoxy. As you can see, it's very diverse in everything I've worked on. There are videos on our YouTube channel of some work we've done for high-end shops, including this very video. Before coming to the United States, I also worked as a carpenter in my home country, 4 years with my own woodworking shop. So many years working in different areas of construction, in contact with architects, designers, and plants. Today, I have a competitive advantage by creating this business plan that I present to you here. 1. Business Plan Description, Executive Summary. The market niche is construction, specifically remodeling and renovating properties. without changing structural designs to the original plans unless a supposed extension of the property adds considerable value to the sale price. This business plan is designed to solve the high cost of renovating these properties, taking construction companies out of the game. Only construction companies with their architects and designers will be hired if it is decided to make an extension of the property. This business plan is to renovate without changing the original plans. The products to be marketed are high-end mansions and apartments in the U.S. in exclusive areas such as Palm Beach, Florida, Fisher Island, Florida, Key Biscayne, Florida, or similar places, buying the properties in poor condition to renovate them in the shortest possible time inside and out and put them up for sale for a profit at competitive prices. The land could also be purchased to make the mansion from the foundations if you wish. The plan is, once the property is purchased, request 1 or 2 estimates from construction companies to renovate the property. If you're not experienced in these matters, this request for an estimate is more for you to check the amounts that the construction companies charge. We will take these estimates of renovation of the property as a basis of expenses to improve. High-end properties in these exclusive places are immune to fluctuations in the market price or the economy than in other places where properties are cheaper. The purchasing power that people have who are looking to buy a mansion, like in Palm Beach, Florida, for example, it is what makes these places independent of the market fluctuations of common properties in other areas of lower status. And it is rare that they buy a high-end property using bank credit. The normal thing is that they pay cash for these properties. The savings are estimated at 40% because there are tasks that we will not be able to do and some services will have to be contracted. This is a real fact from one of the places where I worked. The mansion was purchased for $10 million. The renovation almost ended up costing the same as the purchase price. The renovation could be done for around $5 million. The increased cost of the property that the renovation itself gives you, plus the 40% savings on labor, gives you a nice profit margin. Based on my personal experience in contacting people while working in these places, I estimate these savings to be real following this plan. 2. Why the business will succeed, the team, and savings on infrastructure. This action plan manages to lower the prices of high-end property renovations. I have 28 years of experience working in construction. I have gained experience working in different fields over the years. Thinking about how to create the best possible team, I've collected phone numbers of those workers who stand out from the ordinary, not only in knowledge, but in honesty, attitude to problems, and responsibility to carry out the task. I have been hunting down workers from different fields that I observe without my attention being noticed towards them while I was working alongside them in my activity as a carpenter. For a long time, it was an undercover job on my part. I asked for their phone numbers as a normal thing between workers, but my real intention in getting their phone numbers was based on the fact that they are workers that companies will not fire just like that. The sum of positive aspects in these people makes them excellent workers. They work for someone else today. From the knowledge to develop the task to be carried out, they are people capable of doing the job professionally, but they still lack an aspect and personality to have their own company and get their own clients. The idea is to have a group of 6 workers 70% of the time, choosing them from my contact list. As the work progresses, it will be evaluated whether it is convenient to have some more workers than the 6 who will be there from start to finish, or if it is necessary to work overtime without hiring more people. The objective is to finish the renovation within a year from when you enter the property to work. There are always 2 workers per group in the activity to be carried out. Each of these workers that I know will be people who are each specialized in different professions. For example, a constant group of 6 workers, among which there is a carpenter, an electrician, a plumber, a painter, a marble worker, etc. Each of these workers will be the leader of the group depending on the activity being carried out. For example, when refurbishing the electrical system, the electrician of the group will clearly be the leader to follow in that activity. The key is to have these professionals who are currently employed at a rate of $30 to $35 per hour. Ask each of them to form an LLC, each with the corresponding insurance. Pay them $60 per hour for the service, which for these professionals would be very good, and they would feel very good earning $60 per hour. A rate of $60 per hour is at least half of what a company in the market that services high-end mansions or penthouses charges. Having workers in this way serving the renovation would represent a savings of more than 50% in labor. Each of these specialized professionals would be very satisfied earning an amount that represents double per hour, which would translate into 100% dedication and concentration for each one's work. For them, it is an improvement in salary, which they would not want to lose for not being responsible. The work to be done would be done by the same professional who currently works as an employee for an established company. The cost per hour of the worker would be less than half of the price that companies charge today. And the best thing is that these workers, by asking them to have an LLC company, will be contractors or subcontractors. That is, legally, we would have 0 employees to renovate properties. As for my experience, a favorable advantage to the project is that you don't have to pay an architect or a project manager to make the remodeling plans for the interior of the property. For example, the manufacture and installation of the kitchen, cabinets in general, closets, moldings throughout the house, manufacture and installation of interior doors, etc. I would make the manufacturing plans myself and instruct the workers directly. Having different professionals can add value to the property at a low cost. Taking into account that the properties are going to be demolished internally, when rebuilding them, many updates can be made that perhaps the neighbors in the area don't have. For example, we can install hurricane-proof windows if the property does not have them. We can provide the property with a gasoline or diesel electric generator. This is very necessary in case a strong hurricane passes through the area. We can install the underfloor heating for those winter days. We can make bedrooms magnetic wave-proof from cell phones, Wi-Fi, etc. We can do ground wiring to ground bed sheets so people can rest better. We can make the property a panic room. These are some examples of the added value we can give to properties at a relatively low cost. We, the workers and I, will predominantly dedicate ourselves to renovating the property inside and out in tasks such as everything related to general carpentry and fabrication and installation, plumbing renovation and relocation of water lines, whatever we can do with electricity, low voltage for lights and furniture, painting inside and out, masonry, etc. Gardening is also something we could do with our workers. There are some renovations that we will not be able to do ourselves, or it is not worth it for us to do them. For example, a swimming pool. Companies that are dedicated to making swimming pools have excavators, trucks to transport the soil or rocks that they remove, and they have all the logistics related to removing or depositing the soil and rocks somewhere else. Excavations in general are cheaper to have done by 100% excavation company. The roof is another thing that is better to have repaired by a roofing company, because it is dangerous to have workers working on a roof, and the warranty that roofing companies give is important in case of a leak. The roofing company would be responsible with the warranty they offer. This warranty is very important considering the expensive improvements that would be made to the property. I work on these mansions in Palm Beach, Florida. I hear comments from good sources about the amounts that the mansions were purchased for, plus the amounts for complete renovation and the payment to the construction companies for the renovation. And I know the amount that the mansions end up costing after the remodeling. This is public knowledge on Zillow.com. The profits on the different properties that I frequent or have worked on are on average 25% of the total amount invested. With this plan that I offer, you would be saving 40% on general labor, which is always the most expensive. With this 40% saving, we could sell the property cheaper and thus be more competitive in the sale price, or simply not be competitive in the sale price and earn more by selling it at market price. To ensure that everything has been done correctly, we can offer the buyer a 1-year warranty on leaks in roofs and windows, electricity, and plumbing. I don't think many sellers can afford to do this warranty offer. The properties will be purchased on Zillow.com from owners who let the properties fall into disrepair and therefore are worth less. They will also look for good deals by buying properties at low cost at different types of auctions, such as county auctions and others. Once renovated, they will be put up for sale on Zillow.com. 3. Objective and growth plan. The objective is to buy a mansion or apartment that has the potential to yield a minimum of $1 million profit for each of us in a year of renovation time. With this action plan, at the same time, the problem of high prices for buyers of ready-to-move-in mansions in areas such as Palm Beach, Florida, will be largely resolved. The plan is the property has to be in the name of my investment partner and myself. Why? The fact that I am one of the owners of the property makes things much easier from the bureaucracy point of view. First, if the investment partner is from outside the United States, he will pay more taxes than an American citizen pays from the time the property is purchased until it is sold. Second, I will be working on the property. So, for the city or the laws, I would be the owner who is renovating his own property. It's much easier to obtain licenses or permits from the city to renovate. In many cases, it's not necessary to obtain license or permits if the owner is the one who is repairing his own house. This is an advantage and translates into more savings for the project. Third, the relationship with the Homeowners Association Office, HOA, would be easier when dealing with them for neighborhood rules to follow or for any other issue that needs to be discussed with them. A contract will be signed between you and me where it is clear the final objective of why and for what the property was purchased. That is, the renovation of the property for its subsequent sale immediately after the repair will be finished, in order to obtain the profits for each one in the previously agreed percentages. Growth plan. The objective is to be able to finish the renovation in no more than 1 year per property. After the first mansion is sold, we could repeat the process looking for another property to renovate. At this point, we would have the advantage that the workers will have learned from each other from their different professions and skills. It would be more like having the gears of a well-oiled machine. The work group would be optimized and knowledge learned from each other to continue with another property. After a year of having worked with the group learning different skills from each other, it will be clear which of the workers is the key person who has the most attitude and knowledge to direct the work. We could have this person with another group of workers in another renovation. We could have 2 mansions at the same time if you wish. 4. Organization and management of the company. The investor partner could participate if he would like in the decision about what type of floors to install. For example, whether to put wooden floors in or not, or to install wooden floors in certain rooms and not in others, or about what marble to use, what color to paint, etc. If necessary, we will talk to make an important decision. For example, building a pool on the property. These conversations will be between me, Randall, and the investor partner to make decisions related to the property. Once it is clear what is going to be done on the property, I, Randall, will order the necessary materials for the renovation as they are needed according to the progress of the work. I will also keep track of the hours to pay the workers weekly. If necessary or beneficial for tax payments, an LLC will be created in the name of the investor partner and me. It will be a matter of talking to a tax preparer and lawyers to find out what is recommended and why. I, Randall, will direct the 6 workers in the different tasks from beginning to end of the work in the different renovation activities. I will also be responsible for arranging the various visits by a city inspector for approvals of the various renovations, such as electricity, plumbing, etc. Advice from the investment partner who contributes to the project will be very welcome. 5. Request for financing and proposal. This business plan requires the help of an investor. It's not necessary for you to give me or my company the money to buy the property. The request for money is to buy a mansion, high-end apartment, or penthouse. You can pay it directly to the person selling the property if you prefer. From now on, I will need money monthly for the different expenses or payments until the end of the work. It is to pay the taxes and bills related to the property. It is to buy all the materials for the renovation, pay a group of 6 workers. They will have to be paid weekly for their hours worked, pay the different services of the property while the work is being done. Preferably, capital is requested, not debt, although I understand that I don't know many things related to debt or credit and how it works. If you have experience with these credit or debt issues and you explain it to me, if it makes sense and is beneficial to the project, I'll understand and accept it. This project is not suitable for an investor who is anxious to finish the renovation process in order to recover the money. For example, if the sum of buying a property plus the cost of labor and materials is $15 million, and this $15 million represents 75% of your capital, perhaps this project is not suitable for you. The investment partner will be subject to approval. One of the reasons is the source of the capital. The source and traceability of the money to be invested must be clearly established. The other reason why the investment partner will not be accepted is if he or she has conditions that are considered unfair to both. If you're interested in carrying out at least one property with this plan, please understand that this project must be carried out from beginning to end without interruptions due to lack of money or capital. The project must have continuity from the day the property is purchased until it is ready to be sold. Proposal. Once the renovated property is sold, I think it would be fair to split the profit 50-50 between the investing partner and myself. If there is more than one investing partner, we would have to discuss the profit percentages for each one, since the profit percentage would be reduced proportionally by having more than one investing partner. If you got this far listening, I have to thank you for your time. My plan might not be perfect for you, I understand that. I'd be happy to answer your questions or listen to your advice if you have any. If this plan is for you and you're interested, and if you have some conditions, please let me know your conditions. If I consider them fair for both of us, I'll accept them. If this business is not for you, or at the moment you can't invest in this project, I would really appreciate it if you could put me in touch with other investing partners. Note: if the investing partner is from outside the United States, there is a legal opportunity for investors at this level of investment. There is a law that allows you to apply to obtain documents in the United States if you wish. It's a matter of contacting an immigration attorney. Questions in writing by email, please, to have a record of what was discussed. Randall C. at bmmfinishcarpentry.com. Randall Cuello, CP 1-786-266-3151. Every good investor knows how to recognize a good business. A business suitable for carrying out up to 3 projects at the same time.